They say they had counselors, but I don't know exactly what they counsel you in. You can't really speak to anybody because no one's even speaking to you. You're like paper, like come in, this is what it is, da-da-da-da, and don't express a feeling or any issues. Right. Nobody's listening.
I wanted you guys to each talk, because one of the things that we wanted to touch on is this issue of having to purchase all these sort of really basic items. I was wondering if you guys could each talk about what you were paid for your job, just so we can contrast how much things actually cost and versus what you were actually making.
Maybe around $13.75 a month.
$13.75. People need to understand you get paid less than $1 an hour for the work.
One whole month. Right. Right.
And what did your mom tell you about that?
My mom told me, she said the bar of soap was $3.75. It was $2 for a toothbrush, that if they felt like it was a threat or something, that if she had it, they could throw her toothbrush away. So now she has to buy another one.
If you don't eat whatever, you have to buy things off your commissary. You need hygiene products.
When women have their menstrual cycles, I mean, it's a normal bodily function, and it's not a luxury to have tampons. It shouldn't be a shameful experience to have to ask an officer, like, can I have this, you know?
And the cost, there's other things that you need to buy, right?
You have to buy women necessities such as your maxi pads, tampons, your soap, your hair stuff to wash your hair, just simple everyday things. Federal prison, you have internet, you have phone, and so you have to balance out how you do that. And some people don't have means outside of prison, so you get paid like 87 cents an hour, maybe $13 a month, maybe about that, and do it all on that one budget if you do not have means outside of that place.
How expensive it is, almost like usury rates. Things that now we see as such a low cost to society. If you're in prison, they jack up the price for you to talk to your kids, a decision no human being in America should have to make between buying sanitary products and talking to your family.
Well, Kindia actually faced that exact conflict. You guys had to make sure that your mom was taken care of, but that could take away from resources of seeing each other.
You get into like a visiting room, and it's like that can replace the money that we'd be spending on phone calls where we already have a maximum amount anyway. So we'd be able to actually go and travel, stay at the facilities and see them consecutive days versus talking on the phone, running like up our minutes and not being capable of talking. Maybe the $20 that I do have, if I send it to my mother, it's for commissary, it's for phone calls, and now it's $20 less that I have to actually venture and go see her anyway.
So the assault on the dignity, you're having to like put away your dollars to pay for that. What we should as a society be doing is trying to keep family bonds. There's all social science research and data that shows that keeping those bonds is actually good for their kids, empowers them, and helps you because overwhelming majority of women are coming back to society. We want to keep those bonds strong.
I want to come back to the topic of addiction and withdrawal. Sarah, you've talked about the withdrawal, how it felt personally for you. What exactly was that like?
Withdrawal from heroin is not considered life-threatening, so you're not given, or where I wasn't given any treatment for that.
Would you ask for medical help, and what would people say back to you?
It just felt like I was a bother to people. There was no one to really go to say like, hey, I need some help, or like, it was just, you're locked in, and just all of those things combined just create this like condition for you that like, maybe I belong here, maybe I deserve this.
Ayanna, I know you guys had talked a little bit about how it felt like people were unequipped to handle the emotional problems that people had when they were there and everything they were dealing with all at once.
They say they had counselors, but I don't know exactly what they counsel you in. You can't really speak to anybody because no one's even speaking to you. You're like paper, like come in, this is what it is, da-da-da-da, and don't express a feeling or any issues. Right. Nobody's listening. So what are you really counseling? Why are you even there?
Speaking on your point too, wouldn't you be scared to actually say something? Because I remember
don't even want to.
My mom would say that she would just feel like she couldn't do it anymore, and they put her in suicide watch and solitary. So sometimes you don't even feel comfortable speaking to people.
We needed a lot of outside support, and that wasn't afforded to us in the jail setting. I spent time on a unit where there were people allowed to come in to have groups with us, and they were formerly incarcerated women and women that have recovered from addiction, and that was the most impactful experience for me because I got a chance, an opportunity to see what can come of this. These women really gave me hope that this day could be behind me, you know.
And something we've learned on everything from people dealing with heroin addiction, we've seen this in hospital emergency rooms. If they have somebody that's been through it, counseling them peer to peer, the success rate for turning around heroin addiction is so much better. All of us make mistakes, but that shouldn't be an end. It should be a chance for you to pay your debt, but to be empowered through that process.
This is something I wanted to ask you, Senator. Under the Prison Rape Elimination Act, it's already not supposed to be something that's allowed, this type of cross-gender supervision. And I'm just curious, how would your bill be different than the Prison Rape Elimination Act, and that was supposed to already wipe out this type of cross-gender supervision, but she experienced it, and it seems it's probably still going on. And I know in federal facilities it's a lot more restricted than it would be in like local jails and state prisons, which your legislation wouldn't directly affect.
Right. So one of the facilities I've visited in Danbury, Connecticut, had a pilot program focusing on sort of trauma treatment. Just having people that are trained and skilled in dealing with trauma, the difference it made for the women there who'd come from other facilities was night and day in dealing with the reality for the overwhelming majority of women who have been victims of violence, survivors of sexual assault. And I think one of the most stunning data points I learned was as I was walking into one facility with an amazing warden, and I asked her how many women that are here are survivors of sexual trauma. And she looked at me and she said over 90%. These are women who have endured unspeakable violence. I mean, the kind of things that the stories that we've been hearing are so unconscionable in terms of what is happening to you when you're there. We as a society should not be doing these things. My legislation with Senator Elizabeth Warren puts a ironclad hardening of that law about the kind of indignities that she suffered, but it goes further than that. Just making people aware and conscious of how their behavior will affect people that are recovering. As I said before, restorative justice. Come out so that you are better able to succeed at life.